Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new YouTube video on the Just Saying channel. I'm Jairus, and as always, I'm joined by
Shay.
That's right, and today is the day that we're going to do our NFL Mock Draft 1.0.
That is correct. We're going to be just like all the other mock drafters out there, mocking people. We're mockers.
Yeah, so the draft is going to be which teams that we hate the most. No, just kidding. We're doing NFL prospects. We're just going to be going through the top 10. And then we have our teams at number 17 and 32, respectively. We're going to go through those positions and give our opinions, our draft profiles, and where we think all these young players are going to end up.
That's right. We don't have time to do all 32 first round picks or all 7 rounds of the NFL draft. So, as Jared said, top 10 and then our 2 favorite teams afterwards later in the draft because Eagles have the last pick being the Super Bowl champions and all.
The 2025 Super Bowl champions to you, mister.
That is correct. So, we are going to start with a coin flip. And I'm the visiting team because I'm in Jairus' room for the podcast. So I'm the visiting team, so I get the call in the air. Whoever wins goes first.
All right, here we go. What do you call?
Heads. Oh no.
It
Jairus
landed
is
in
sitting
my
on
chair.
it. Jairus is now sitting on it.
It is heads.
All right, I will
Probably
go
rigged.
first.
What are you, the Kansas City Chiefs rigging the coin toss?
No. Okay. So, the first pick of the NFL draft this year is the Tennessee Titans, as you all know. So I have number 1, Tennessee Titans, first overall pick, Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami. He is the best quarterback in this draft class. The Titans are in need of a quarterback after an awful season by Will Levis and not really doing anything over free agency to help bolster that or get anyone behind Will Levis or anything. There are rumors of them trading the first overall pick. However, after scheduling another private workout with Cam Ward, I don't think that will be the case. But we'll see. But I think I would be shocked if the Titans don't, just because I do not think Will Levis is the future. So,
The meme machine. So, for me, for the first overall pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Cam Ward, quarterback, Miami.
all right, we're on the same page.
That's right. For the Tennessee Titans, like you said, summed up really well. It's one of their biggest needs on the team. And Will Levis, the meme machine, I hope he stays in the league for just that reason. But, yeah, I don't think he's the future in Tennessee. And Cam Ward is projected to be the number 1 quarterback in this class. Still, maybe a little bit rough around the edges. And as you'll see with this draft, there are so many ways I think teams can go. There is not like a solidified top 5, even in my opinion, or top 10. So I think it could be all over the place.
All right, very interesting. Well, number 2, the Cleveland Browns select Travis Hunter,
Whoa.
wide receiver or cornerback, however the team chooses to play him, from Colorado. Although it's certainly possible that the Browns could draft a new QB with still having Deshaun Watson and signing Kenny Pickett over the offseason, signs could be saying otherwise. Instead, I could see them getting help on the offensive side of the ball, which they absolutely need, and what better guy than Travis Hunter. Also, if they end up using him on defense instead, then they drafted a top 5 cornerback in this year's draft to help on the defensive side of the ball. If I'm wrong, because this is more of a surprise, really, than what most people have out there. If I'm wrong, I would say Abdul Carter is probably their pick, and that's still not a quarterback. So Yeah, wasn't it the owner or the GM that came out or part owner said that Deshaun Watson was a mistake?
Big swing and a miss. And
Yeah.
no fucking shit.
Yeah.
Jimmy
So
Haslam.
they honestly, the Browns have a lot of different options here. I really think they could go get some weapons for the offense, get a quarterback, or get help on the defensive side. I think they actually have a lot of different avenues to go.
With the second overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Abdul Carter,
Okay.
edge, Penn State. Yeah, for me, Cleveland Browns, they have a lot of positional needs. Like you said, quarterback. They should need another wide receiver, help on the secondary. I mean, for them, the season just did not go well at all in any aspect. So, in my opinion, they should go for best player available. And for Abdul Carter, he is the top-ranked edge prospect. And management has come out and said that they have visions, quote unquote, of pairing Abdul Carter alongside Myles Garrett.
Which would be very scary.
Yeah, so that's my pick for second overall.
All right, with the third pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants will select Shedeur Sanders, quarterback out of Colorado. The Giants have been in quarterback hell the last 2 years, so it's pretty much a no-brainer to me that they have to grab a QB in the first round. With Cam Ward going to the Titans first overall, Sanders is the second best option. The question, though, will he be a starter right away, or do they give him time to develop?
All right. With the third pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Shedeur Sanders,
Wow.
quarterback, Colorado.
Okay, same page again.
Yep. Even though they signed Russell Wilson and they signed Jameis Winston to 1 and 2 year deal contracts, I still think the Giants need to find a long-term solution at the position.
Yeah.
For Shedeur Sanders, he is the second highest quarterback in this class. A little bit of concern at the draft combine, though, because he did refuse to participate in throws and some workouts at the combine.
I mean, it happens every year, so sometimes it's concerning, sometimes it doesn't mean anything.
For me, though, I think his skill speaks for itself, and time again, the first round, we always see quarterbacks drafted high. That's just how it kind of goes. I've seen a lot of draft boards that have actually had Shedeur Sanders slide to the late first round, possibly even out of the second round.
Yeah.
To me, I don't think there's a scenario in where he slides out of the first round, but I could see him dropping to maybe the mid to late first round.
Yeah, I think it's possible, but the Giants, I agree, they need somebody that's going to be their future. And he's certainly that over Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. All right. With the fourth pick in the draft, the New England Patriots select, because Travis Hunter is gone for my draft board, remember, Tataria McMillan, wide receiver from Arizona. If the Browns do take Travis Hunter with the second pick, that will go against what the Patriots do want. They've made a lot of moves in the offseason to help out the defensive side of the ball, but they still don't have a true wide receiver one for Drake May. Hunter would absolutely be their first choice, but if they can't get him, I still think they have to pick a wide receiver with their first round pick. McMillan, who is 6'5" and 212 pounds, has great body control and physicality to be a great wide receiver one for May and the Pats.
With the fourth overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Will Campbell, offensive tackle, LSU.
Okay.
For me, Patriots obviously need a lot of help, as a lot of these teams need in the top 10. They do need help at multiple positions. Yeah. I think a top priority for a team that has a young, promising quarterback is to give him that protection. And for me, even though on draft day, Will Campbell ran into a little bit of a snag because his wingspan barely measured at 33 inches, I think, which is the usual floor for a lot of teams. I think his skill is undeniable, and he will be a great blocking option for the Patriots as they continue to develop Drake May. And with the signing of Stephon Diggs, even though he is on the older side and coming off of injury, I think it is a little bit of a risk, but I think they could afford to draft a wide receiver in the later rounds.
Okay. Moving on to one of Jarris's two teams. The 5th pick in the draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan. It's entirely likely that the Jaguars will try to pick up a weapon for Trevor Lawrence, i.e. a wide receiver or a tight end. However, I think it would make sense for them to get arguably the best defensive tackle of the draft, considering their interior line only accumulated 2 sacks the entire 2024 season. Graham only had 3.5 sacks at Michigan last year, but he also tallied 26 pressures and 14 run stops. His technique is outstanding, and he has the power and leverage to push back interior O-line. With him in the middle and Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines Allen on the edges, this defensive line would be much better with him. If, though, Abdul Carter falls in their lap, they will absolutely take it.
With the 5th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Travis Hunter,
Whoa! Oh, shit.
wide receiver / cornerback out of Colorado.
What?
Though it is very unlikely
What did he
that
say?
Travis Hunter slides to 5th. If my mock draft plays out and the Jacksonville Jaguars somehow find him right in their lap, they would be real stupid not to take him. Has supreme athleticism at the cornerback position, does project to be 90% starter at corner with just his speed and his agility. And for a team that had one of the worst passing defenses last season, this would be my ideal pick.
Okay. A little surprising having him fall that far. Okay. Number 6, the Las Vegas Raiders select Ashton Jeanty, running back from Boise State. The Raiders went out and got Geno Smith during the offseason, so QB is, depending on how he plays, obviously, but QB right now is not the issue. They do have a good defensive line, especially when Crosby comes back healthy after a long offseason. Brock Bowers was their only highlight from last year, so what's left? How about being dead last in the running game last year? What fixes that? Only the greatest running back college football has ever seen since 2005, Reggie Bush. His historic year last year speaks enough on why the Raiders should draft him, but he's fast, strong, extremely physical, and durable. There's no question this is their guy. Seeing him in the silver and black would look pretty sweet too.
With the 6th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Terriotra McMillan,
What?
wide receiver, Arizona State.
What the fuck?
Yeah, maybe going a little bit off the board with this one. I think it would be a pretty shocking pick. I have seen quite a few mock drafts that do have Terriotra McMillan on them. Even though they have a good passing option in rookie tight end Brock Bowers, they could do with adding another offensive weapon into their arsenal.
Okay. All right. I see you. All right, number 7, the New York Jets select Tyler Warren, tight end from Penn State. The Jets, on paper, are a great team. They have the stars on offense and defense, and they went out and got Justin Fields in free agency. Probably his last chance in the NFL. Only position other than maybe O-line that needs a star is tight end. That's where Warren comes in. He could be the perfect safety valve for Fields. A great pass protector and run blocker, but also he is magic with the ball in his own hands. 700 of his 1,233 yards last season came after the catch. Use him to start a drive, take a deep shot, or in the red zone. Warren would be the perfect fit and option for Justin Fields.
With the 7th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Armand Membo, offensive tackle, University of Missouri.
Wombo?
Wombo. Like you said, besides offensive line, you have them select a tight end. I have them selecting an offensive lineman.
Okay.
For one of the units that had the most pressures allowed and the most sacks allowed and couldn't protect Aaron Rodgers. I think the New York Jets would be very wise to address this much-needed position.
Yeah, I can see him going either way, honestly. All right, number 8 in the draft, the Carolina Panthers select Jalen Walker, linebacker from Georgia. The Panthers' offense finally showed some signs last year, but their defense dragged them down. 6.0 yards per play and 31.4 points per game are both league worst. GM Dan Morgan definitely made the moves during free agency to attempt to fix that problem, but why stop there? Georgia, a defensive factory for the NFL, produced Walker. A versatile defender who can play at the line of scrimmage or off the ball, has great sideline-to-sideline speed and a quick first-step burst, which helped him accumulate 62 tackles and 6.5 sacks for the Bulldogs last year.
With the 8th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Jalon Walker, linebacker,
Okay, back on the same
University
page.
of Georgia. Yeah, they met with him. Apparently the meeting went very well, and they have expressed great interest in this player. And your explanation sums it up perfectly. Bryce Young in the offense showed some signs of brilliance, but the defense definitely needs a lot of help. Even though they had some key injuries, they could use more help at those positions.
All right. Number 9 in the draft this year, the New Orleans Saints select Jackson Dart, QB
Whoa.
from Ole Miss. Even though the Saints restructured Carr's contract, I just don't think he is the future at this position for the team. Why not draft a kid that can sit under Carr for a year, doesn't have to play right away, and is a surprisingly good two-way player? He threw for over 4,000 yards and ran for over 650 last year at Ole Miss. And like I said, I just don't think Carr is the answer for them.
All right. With the number 9 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Mason Graham, defensive tackle,
Okay.
University of Michigan.
Interesting.
In my mock draft, Mason Graham falls from the usual position of the Jacksonville Jaguars at 5th overall all the way to 9th.
Yeah.
The New Orleans Saints, even though they might need a long-term solution at quarterback, if Mason Graham falls this far, they would not be wise to pass up on him. With elite ability,
Yeah.
good hands, and part of one of the best units in college.
Okay. All right. At number 10, the Chicago Bears select Mikael Williams, outside linebacker from Georgia. Another Bulldog, Williams is an outside linebacker who can beat blockers with speed or power. He missed some time last year with an ankle injury, but still picked up 5 sacks. If the Bears didn't bolster their O-line in free agency to help Caleb Williams, I would have guaranteed they would go that route, but they did. Now they can focus on a defense that was middle of the league in sacks with 40, but 24th in pass rush win rate at 36.5%.
With the 10th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Ashton Genty,
Whoa, holy shit!
running back, Boise State.
Really? Okay.
In my draft, Genty falls from projected number 6 to the Raiders
Yeah.
to 10th for the Chicago Bears. The teams that are in between the Raiders and them don't need a running back.
Yeah.
So he falls into the Bears' lap, and with Ben Johnson, former Lions offensive coordinator,
Correct.
running a two-way headed monster in Gibbs and David Montgomery, I could see if Genty falls to 10th, the Bears picking him right up and having him and DeAndre Swift in the backfield.
That's really interesting. I was not expecting that. Okay, then. All right. Like we said, we're just doing the top 10 of the first round and then moving on to our teams who are outside of the top 10. So with the 17th pick of the NFL Draft 2025, the Cincinnati Bengals select Shamar Stewart from defensive end from Texas A&M. My, oh my, did the Bengals have an off season or what? Their offense is locked in and looks to be as explosive as ever, but what the hell is going on with their defense? They seemingly haven't done anything to help their defense, and they haven't extended Trey Hendrickson, who requested a trade and just said on the Pat McAfee show the other day that he was frustrated with the lack of communication from the Bengals front office. Well, drafting Shamar Stewart could help a lot. Could being the key word. At the combine, he leaped 40 inches in the vertical jump and then ran a 4.59 40-yard dash. He looks the part of a defensive end and has the physical prowess, but he only amounted to 4.5 sacks over his 3 college seasons, which is not a lot. Can the Bengals develop him and make his talent translate to results? That is the question, and I honestly don't know.
All right. Skipping to the number 17th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Jihad Campbell,
Okay.
linebacker, Alabama.
All right. I see it. Yeah.
In my mock draft, in between number 10, number 17, I have a lot of edges off the board.
Yeah.
So with the Bengals having so many positional needs, in my opinion, they should just go with best player available. So I have them selecting Jihad Campbell with that pick.
Okay.
Yeah, like you said, this also kind of hinges on Trey Hendrickson re-signing in Cincinnati. So
Yeah.
I'm being cautiously optimistic with my pick here.
Yeah, I can see that.
But if they can't get him signed, I think, in my opinion, they need to trade him before the draft so that they know what their primary needs are.
Right. All right. They're running out of time.
Yeah.
With the 32nd pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Walter Nolan, defensive tackle from Ole Miss. What could the defending Super Bowl champions possibly need? They have the best offensive line in all of football. Their offensive core, Jalen, Saquon, Brown, and Smith, are locked up for years. They have absolute studs in the secondary, signed up Zach Bond for the middle of the field, and still have Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis up front. So what actually is there to do? Well, how about replacing Milton Williams, who left for New England over the offseason? It would be the third time in 4 drafts that GM Howie Roseman drafted a defensive tackle. But replacing Williams is a must, in my personal opinion. The guy had 2 sacks in the Super Bowl, for crying out loud. Walter Nolan has explosive traits and strong hands. He had 6.5 sacks and 15 run stops last year at Ole Miss. The Eagles, they're not going anywhere. Offensive core locked up, young stars all over the team on rookie contracts, and the best general manager in football. Even though they are picking 32, they could still walk away the winners of the draft, in my opinion, like they did last year.
Your 2025 Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, select Josh Conley Jr., offensive line, Oregon.
Wow. Oh, line help. Okay. That's different.
Yep, I had a very hard time selecting this pick because the Eagles are the defending champions. What do they really need? Well, in my opinion, with Lane Johnson being 34 years old, I think it would be smart for them to draft a long-term replacement for Lane Johnson. So I have him selecting Josh Conley Jr.
Okay. That's not what I was expecting, but okay. Very, very interesting. All right. Wow. Well, everyone, that is our mock draft 1.0. Let us know down in the comments why we're so wrong with all our picks or why you agree with them. because it's a mock draft. Who the hell knows? If we might be doing another mock draft 2.0, if we're able to get to one, but the draft is in just a few weeks, 2025. Pretty excited for it, especially now that we have mock drafts. I want to see how right or wrong we both are. But I think it'll be a good one, and yeah, I'm excited.
Don't worry, we're going to be saying your 2026 Super Bowl champions, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, you're funny. Don't get your hopes up, buddy.
All right, well, with that, I'm going to go cry in the corner. No. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Let us know your picks for your own teams in the comments down below, and give your opinions on both of our mock drafts, and let us know any insight you might have, again, down in the comments below. But that is going to do it. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like. Don't forget to hit subscribe.
Red, white,
whatever
or black
color
button.
that may
Yep.
be. And yeah, thank you guys so much, and we will see you in the next